Sup bros, this is the HappyRun G70 electric bike, and today we're gonna review it. MSRP is $17.99 on sale for about $400 off that in the link below this video. Today we're gonna take it on a practical range test, see what kind of range we actually get out of this thing. They say we can do up to 80 miles on pedal assist 1, but we're not gonna use pedal assist 1 today because they say it can go up to 37 miles an hour. We'll check that out. It seems to be topping out right around 32 according to the onboard. And it does have dual batteries and a kind of cool NFC unlock system. Full suspension, max payload capacity 300 pounds. So let's check this thing out and see if it's worth the money. And here's what it looks like when you get out of the box. Check it out, it comes with passenger pegs and also a backrest for the passenger. So it's got a passenger seat. But check out the main seat on this thing, man. This thing is wide and real thick. And it is full suspension sitting on a swing arm with a coil shock on the rear. And the bike is powered by a geared hub motor on the rear rated for 1000 watts nominal, 2000 watts max. Looks like the tire comes completely deflated, so we need to get that thing beaded on there, right? So per use, the amount of power you send to that motor is dependent on the batteries in the controller. And we do have two batteries. So let's pop the top one off. Top battery is a little bit bigger than the bottom one. It is a 48 volt battery, 20 amp hour, 960 watt hours on the top one. And then we have a slightly smaller one for the bottom. A little side by side for you. Bottom one is 48 volt, 18 amp hour, 864 watt hours of energy. Are they LG cells, Samsung cells? It does not state. And it appears to me that the controllers are built into the battery trays themselves. It doesn't say how many amps the controllers are, but we'll find out how much power we're getting on the ride. Handlebars have a rise, and they also sweep back towards the rider, making for an upright riding position. Cheap grips, headlight, signals, horn, cheap shifter, start stop button, quarter twist throttle, and core ride hydraulic brakes. It's got open style dropouts, and we'll drop that axle on in a minute, but first we gotta put our brake rotor on, which is a 160. Spoke wheels, 20x4s with knobby tread, and they do give you a tire pump to blow it up. Good luck with that, bro. I'm using this. Pump it up to 20 PSI, but more importantly, we gotta get the thing beaded on the rim correctly. Oh no, that's not looking good. This is pretty important, you get it right. See the imbalance there, bro? So I let the air back out a bit. Try it again. Meh, we'll see. Girl time, baby. Ow, that hurt. Had to grip it by those things. Sharp, man. But those are to mount the display. So we'll throw that on in a minute. And we do get some NFC chips. I guess you can also do this with your phone. Axle bolted down, core ride hydraulics up front, hydraulics on rear, same 160 rotor on rear. And relatively speaking, a lot of assembly on this one compared to other e-bikes. See if we get that balance, bro. Good news is you only gotta do it once. Is that gonna give us some rattle? Also, if you don't want this rear seat, you can pop that off. Just get a couple bolts down there. You can throw on a different attachment on the back. See all that stuff in the link below the video. Just a few more things to install. Metal pedals. Got the headlight on, turn signals on, fender on. That's right, I said turn signals. Got them for the back side too. They don't give us any bolts to put them on though. Let's see what I have around here. They do give us bolts for these passenger pegs though. So on the other side, we can see we have a gold chain, relatively small crank on front for slower speed pedaling, and a basic 7 speed on the rear. It's got the derailleur guard to protect your Shimano derailleur. And of course it is full suspension with the dual crown fork up front. It's got an adjustment for the compression, so you can dial that in. So let's go ahead and throw those batteries on. Pretty tight clearance on the top one. And the bottom one mounts upside down. And we have a key for the button battery. Throw that on there and get it buttoned up. Just don't forget to button it locked. Also, we do get 2 chargers. Each one is a 2 amp charge rate. So it'd take around 9 hours to charge each of those batteries from empty to full on the slower speed of charge rate. So way down here underneath the shock, there is this secret hidden red button. If I remember correctly, this switch will operate either one battery or the other, or none. So let's put it on 1. Now on 1, hold the S button. There we go. Saw it come to life briefly there. Screw it, let's flip it to the other one. There we go. So now it asks for NFC. Boom! Get this off of here. So HappyRun has this like retro video game looking display. So it does have turn signals. It has an indicator there. I chose the correct order. We got the right signal. What's up, bro? I didn't put this thing on there yet. So after we plug that cable in, we get the signal on the left side too. So they still have the little delay, which is kind of interesting. Watch. There you go. So we get our battery bars on the right there, and that will be for one battery at a time, I'm pretty sure. And to adjust the pedal assist, you just have basically one button to operate stuff here. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it goes back to 0. And that's pretty much that. Also, there's lights on front. Is there a brake lever light? Yes, sir. And a horn. Loud horn. So let's feel this thing out size-wise and comfort-wise. Hop on board. I am 6'5", inseam 34. Seat is wide, which I like. Oh yeah. Nice wide seat is always a good thing in my opinion. Rear suspension feels very soft, as does the front suspension, probably designed for a relatively light rider. I weigh 200 pounds. Gotta get that chain aligned up. So here's what I look like sitting on this bike. My pedal stroke is, yeah, you can tell this is not designed for a 6'5" rider. But we're gonna be riding it today. Let's see what I'll do on pedal assist 5. So with no load on the motor, it will spin up to 36 with 0 weight pulling on it. Can it go 37 with a load? Maybe downhill. See if we got the tire balanced. Yeah, not too bad, bro. So in addition to the NFC unlock, there's also the Smart Goo app. And with that app, it says easily provide high quality services such as unlocking and checking GPS location. And probably more importantly, you can unlock the bike with your phone, apparently. All right, dudes, let's check out the HappyRun G70. And here is the rear rack. So if you want to put this rather heavy duty rear rack on the back, all you do is pop the seat off here, swap it out. They give you all the hardware mounting tools. Dude, this thing weighs probably like at least 5 pounds. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. And of course, we're gonna check our official range. We'll start this ride on the top battery because you can only run one battery at a time. Track our range on the Strava app. Say the bottom battery off, top battery on, and you also have to activate that top battery up here. What a strange way to do things. This is one theft deterrent. Just put this thing on 0 batteries and nobody would ever figure out how to turn this thing on. So power it up, holding the S button, NFC chip to unlock it, boom. And check it out, I found some screws laying around the place, so we have this on back. So getting out here, first couple observations on it are this screen is kind of hard to see in the bright California sunlight. Also, the batteries are on a full charge. I went back and double checked to make sure they're fully charged. 54.2, that's full, bruh, on 48 volts. But it was showing not full bars as soon as I got on the throttle. But I noticed that the display is showing, you know, like a missing bar basically as soon as you start using any power at all on this thing. But the battery did read 54 point some volts, so it is, you know, fully charged. So let's give it a go on the 20% grade, see what kind of torque we're working with. Running dual batteries on the bike, but only one battery can power the bike at a time. So pedal assist 5, full throttle, no pedaling, ready to go. So it's going about, it's pulling us up, no pedaling at all, holding about 8 miles an hour. So it is a 48 volt system with a pretty normal amount of power. Let's try the power mode. So the only way to swap between power modes here is to just, there's one button on this thing. So you just press S. We were on 5, that brings you to 0, so you get no power at all when you're on 0, but when you put it on 1, it gives you just a little trickle of power here. And we do have 7 gears on a basic Shimano shifter. So I can tell pedal assist 1 will just kind of give you, you know, like a fraction of the power here on the throttle. And we do have a basic cadence sensor on this bike, so we could, you know, use our gears to, you know, input our own power on this. So this bike is really, really small. This is very uncomfortable for a tall individual to pedal. But pedal assist 1, I think it'll do basically the same thing on throttle as it will for pedaling. You just get a chill amount of power, so just press that one single green button there to switch it on over to 2, and you just get a bit more power there. So it doesn't matter if you use throttle or pedal. You don't even have to actually apply any tension to the chain. As long as you're rotating your legs a little bit on a cadence sensor, it'll give you power the same as it would on the throttle. So far, seems like a pretty chill electric bicycle. So let's see what kind of range we end up doing on the top battery only today. And then we have the second battery down there. So it's really interesting how HappyRun has that switch on there that allows you to run one of the 2 batteries at a time. You cannot run both batteries at the same time on this electric bike, which does have some pros and cons. So one of the pros would be this dual battery setup. If you're going for a longer ride, you could put both batteries on the bike. But if you're just going for a short little whip around the neighborhood, pop one of them off, reduce the weight of the bike. It'll feel more nimble. You'll get more range and everything just by running a single battery, because you don't got to carry the extra weight. But then, you know, if you want to go for a real long ride, go ahead and throw that second battery on there. Make sure you don't have the range anxiety. Another pro, I guess you could say, of having the batteries run one at a time is if your battery's starting to get kind of low on, you know, power, down to like 30% or so, and you want a fresh full charged pep, all you gotta do is flip that switch, and you could switch from, you know, a battery say that's 70% depleted over to a battery that's completely full and get all the power. Now let's try pedal assist 3, get a little bit more power here. I can tell you right now, we're not gonna be pedaling this thing at all today. I did notice the grips there, this one is just, it's not bolted down. You'd need to kind of glue that thing in place. Same goes on the left one, actually. Not a big deal, but just know the grips are pretty darn basic, as is just about everything on this bike. So I don't think I got that front tire completely balanced. I feel a little bit of vibration come from that front tire, but pedal assist 3 brings us up to about 23 miles an hour with a 200-pound rider. So let's do a little 0 to 20 rip on the HappyRun G70. I weigh 200 pounds. We have both batteries on there. If you weigh less and only have one battery, you probably get a little better acceleration results than a heavy dude. Both batteries, one battery's not running. So from a stop, ready, go full throttle. Is that 5? Yeah. So that's 10, 15, 20. So in terms of power on this one, I'd say, you know, it's like a pretty safe level of power. It's not going to be popping a wheelie on you. It's not like an intimidating, scary amount of power and torque on this. I'd say just about, you know, probably most newbies could just hop on this thing, you'd be all right. If you are looking for something crazy powerful, HappyRun does make a 72-volt e-bike, pretty similar to this, just like a lot more power. I did a review that on the channel. I'll include it in the link below this video. Let's see what it's like to pedal this thing going 20 on gear number 7. Oh yeah, see, I can't even keep up, I don't think, but I mean, my legs are pretty long. This thing's definitely geared for a little bit slower speed pedaling, which actually makes sense, because when you're going slow, that's when you can actually, you know, put some power in and makes a meaningful difference. If you're going 30 miles an hour, pedaling something like this, it's really not going to add like any speed or performance benefits. Dude's out here cooking on the scooter. Let's get a top speed run on this thing. We have a little bit of a tailwind, pushing us just a bit, but full throttle here. So 19, 20, 25. I can't see the onboard display. 30 it says onboard, 31, 29, 30. So with a 200-pound rider, it seems to be topping out right around 30 miles an hour according to my GPS, 32 according to the onboard, which as you can see, just cooking by a normal bicycle. Probably all the faster anybody really needs to be going on an electric bicycle of this style. So we're gonna get out here, try it on the flat sand here in a few, do the Cali Incline, check the brakes, and see where the final range is. But first, let's rip it off here, get a little air, and ride under the Venice sign, and put the suspension a little bit more to the test, just see what it feels like riding over some particularly harsh off-roading stuff. So feel a little bit of squeaks, hear some squeaks, and suspension, it's okay. Better than nothing. And I am noticing that this back brake lever needs a little bit of adjustment out of the box. I'm grabbing it, and you know, it's basically touching the handle there, barely applying any braking force to that rear brake. I don't think dropping it, doing that B-roll stuff from like a wheelie down, slamming the suspension down, I don't think that helped it any. Unfortunately, I don't have a 2mm or 3mm wrench. Maybe these dudes can help. What's up, man? Do you guys happen to have a wrench that I could borrow to adjust my brakes? Like a, I think yeah, like a 2mm or 3mm, one of the two? Okay, right on, thank you. So there's just like a little screw on the front here. So I think you would unscrew it a little bit.
Bikes 25 and scooters at 20.
Yeah, there we go. All right, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you. Oh, buddy. That dude about just playing chicken with me. All right, so let's give it a try on the sand. We're gonna get up the speed here, still on the first battery, and kind of dying down, kind of as expected, really. So, I mean, if you want to get it on the sand or some really soft surfaces, just hop off, hold that throttle down to get through. Really what you need for this kind of riding is dual motor, as I always say. With a bit of a tailwind, we can just kind of get crawling through this a little bit. But we don't want to burn our motor up, so let's not use this bike as unintended. So let's go see how it does on the California Incline, 85-foot climb, 12% grade. So we are on pedal assist 5, hitting the spiral section here. We'll do full throttle. And on the flat pavement, this gradual incline is pulling us right on up at about 10-ish miles an hour. Losing a bit of steam here. We are still on the first battery. I'm kind of curious if it'd make a difference switching batteries to, you know, top speed on the Cali Incline. So starting at the base with our tire against the wall, full throttle. On the top battery, only full throttle. Hitting about 10 and 15, 16, 18. So this is actually, you know, like a difficult hill to pedal a bicycle up. I oftentimes see cyclists going very, very slow, certainly not 20 miles an hour up this incline, maybe more like 3 or 4, and people just giving up. But yeah, this will pull us up, hitting about right around 19, 20 at the top. So sufficient power on this bike. Nothing super crazy, but way more better than pedaling. So going down the Cali Incline, I'm not sure I want to test these 160 millimeter hydraulic rotors at the brick wall here at the end. So 160 millimeter rotors are, you know, they're fine for running on these shorter 20-inch wheels. Sometimes more expensive bikes will run, you know, 180s or 203s, even 220s. The bigger the rotor, the more stopping power you're going to have. These are fine. Just, I wouldn't do anything too crazy though. So let's get this thing up to about 20 miles an hour, then give it a full brake. That's about 20. And oh yeah, oh yeah. Brakes are actually pretty good. I mean, good stopping power. Lever feel isn't like the greatest on these ones, but budget bike, bro. The good thing is they are hydraulic and not mechanical. Yeah, pretty solid. So we're about to head on home, check the final range on the first battery, which is showing 3 out of 5 bars right now. Let's actually go ahead and just throw it on the bottom battery. I'm gonna turn it on and try and find that switch. Where the heck is it? The switch under the frame. Oh my goodness, that thing is hidden so good. So we'll flip it onto the bottom battery, which kills the bike. Gonna start it back up. And now we are on a full charge. Let's just give it a 0 to 20 rip, see if it's any faster on a full charge. Technically, you know, full charge, you're always gonna get more power. Ready, go. And 20. Felt about the same to me. So let's just put it back on the top battery and see where we end up. So let me share my final thoughts on this thing on the way home. If you do want to buy one of these, use that link below the video in the description box. Buy through that link, it would give you the best price and also help support my reviews here on Tail Happy TV. I think the current list price right now is $13.99 for this dual battery electric bike with the passenger pegs. Yeah, it says $13.99, MSRP $22.99, which would be absolutely absurd to pay that amount of money for this bike. So final thoughts on the G70. I mean, HappyRun, they just have a unique approach to things. I mean, this display, I can't decide if it's like cool due to its like retro look or just cheap or some combination of the both. How they only have the one single button here to adjust your pedal assist modes. I mean, it's really all you need. So it's, you know, in that sense, like pretty simplistic, minimal machine. It does have the headlights and the turn signals, which is cool. Pretty loud. That horn is actually real loud. Got both signals on right now. And then how they choose to do, you know, the 2 batteries running independent from each other. So you can't run this thing on both batteries at the same time, as mentioned earlier. Pretty unique approach making an electric bike compared to a lot of the companies out there. So if you want something a little bit different, HappyRun G70 would certainly satisfy that requirement. The seat is pretty comfortable, and you know, you get the rear passenger seat as well as rear passenger pegs, which does give you a little more utility along with that rack that can carry some stuff too. It's been a pretty fun bike to be on out here. Let's head on home, see where the final range is on the first battery and what kind of expected range you could actually get out of this thing. You found me, man.
I follow you.
Are you serious? I'm Matt. Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Coco.
Coco? Cool, man.
I watch all your videos.
Are you serious? So we're just gonna run it wide open all the way home. We are losing a bit of top speed, hitting around 29, 28 on the first battery. Now we're pulling about 27, 26. So this ride ended up being about 17.64 miles. We averaged 13 miles an hour. We were out there for an hour and 21 minutes. And I could tell that the battery was starting to die down. It was running out. Under full throttle, we could see it did show 1 bar remaining on the battery. But when I let off the throttle, the battery has about 2 bars on the bars. And then obviously we have that entire second battery. You just have to get down there and flip the switch, and then you have a full charge, which will basically double the amount of range you're gonna get. So that is the HappyRun G70 electric bike. If you do want to grab one, use that link down below the video. Click on that link, check out the current prices, and if you buy one, it would help support my reviews. And of course, I greatly appreciate your support. However, if this is not the kind of electric bike you're looking for, you should probably check this video out, bro. Catch you over there.